to Dr. Abubakar. As you know, all everyone for all initiative, it has multifaceted aspects. One of the aspects is observation network. So allow me ask Dr. Abubakar, what is the current status of the SOF initiative, and how can it support RCCs in improving their services and contributing to enhancement of early warning initiative in Africa? Please, Dr. Abubakar.
Yeah, thank you very much, and a very important discussion around building synergies. I always say that the value chain of weather and climate services is huge. It is very demanding and very expensive, and it need that we work together in a way that can help us to use the resources in a more efficient and smooth way to have a really solid early warning system in place. So that is what we try to do under the umbrella of the early warning for all. We work with, we lead together from WMO side with UNDRR, and then we are also working with ITU and other agencies, and then at other level we work with WMO regional climate centers and other regional specialized meteorological centers. So to your question about SOF, currently SOF is a process of supporting 24 countries in Africa. And 6 of those countries are from the IGAD region. So we have Ethiopia, Djibouti, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, and Somalia. So those 6 countries from IGAD, or ICPAC, Horn of Africa, Greater Horn of Africa. And across all Africa, we have about 24 countries. But they are not all at the same stage. SOF work based on stages. So it work first on readiness phase, so an analysis for the state of the hydrometeorological observing network. And then after this, it will come the next phase, which is the investment phase, where after the analysis, then money will be put and invested, and then the compliance phase, because SOF also require commitment from members from the country. So overall, the core aim of SOF is to support the global implementation of Global Basic Observing Network. The Global Basic Observing Network, it is a network that is dedicated to support the numerical weather prediction. So there are 6 main parameters that are required for numerical weather prediction globally, and those are the ones that will be supported by GBON and hence SOF. So what we are expecting is that how it will support RCCs, for example. Since it is data ingested in numerical weather prediction, the RCCs, most of them, they run numerical weather prediction. So it helps in improving the skills of the numerical weather prediction globally, and of course when it is downscaled to a regional level. So that is one element, and then that data get cascaded seasonal to subseasonal forecasting, because the seasonal and subseasonal forecasting also benefit from the global numerical prediction that are ingesting the observations from the global telecommunication system. So again, it is expected also to the observations from the global telecommunication system. So again, it is expected also to help with the seasonal to subseasonal forecasting and the basic global observing network. The monetary value that could be brought into the economy, it reached about $5 billion per year. So this is how it will help globally and improving the different aspects of the RCC's work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abubakar, to give us a highlight, the current status of SOF and how RCC can benefit from, the data from SOF project. Observation network is very key. Thank you so much for that highlight. Now I will move to Dr. Osman from IGAD, a continental organization. And as you know, we have different RCCs in Africa. ICPAC is one, and we have RCC in Central Africa, RCC in South Africa, and also we have actually two RCCs in West Africa, Agreement and ACMAD. But we have challenges, in terms of working together. So Dr. Usman, my question is, how can RCC standardize products and protocol to enable RCC can uphold their mandatory functionalities and enhance early warning system in Africa through seamless collaboration? Dr. Nadir, please.
Thank you very much. Coming now to your question, WMO has created RCCs for different regions to ensure that there is a collaboration between the countries first. And then AGMAD is having a continental mandate and having a role, of course, of coordination between the RCCs to ensure that there is a very clear, declination, WMO at the global, AGMAD at the continental, and each area in Africa, you have regional climate centers. Of course, we want to ensure that there is seamless in the space, so ensuring that nobody left behind, information is accessible to everybody, and also there is possibility of exchange in terms of know-how, bulletin, whatever they do, ensure that one RCC can help the other RCCs, and ensure also we are doing well and it's success, or also failure. Failure also is important to know. And I think as a Director General of AGMAD has that role, that mandate, to ensure that things are working between RCCs and ensure also there is something at a continental level. If you follow AGMAD those last years, we were creating this Outlook Forum maybe at the continental level, ensuring all the RCCs, what they do during the season and also during the region, specific region, is centralized at the continental level. And to do so, we need to agree about different kind of metrics that we are using. So that's really important to ensure that it's standardized. Everybody can read it. And as you know, as climate, everything is standardized. Anybody can read any climate information and understand really what does it mean. So we are really here ensuring that everybody is doing it. Of course, all the RCs are not at the same level. Some are really advanced in terms of product, in terms of developing also climate modeling, accessing to it. Others are, starting a little bit. So we have that mandate also to ensure that those who need more support, we just support them little by little to ensure they come at that level. That's another mandate also. We just support them little by little to ensure they come at that level. That's another mandate for us. But of course, to coming to your question, it's important that are crossing. A country can be member of different RCCs. There is no problem for it. I mean, we understand everything because the bottom line is the hazards are not dependent of the places. I mean, we are affected by the same hazards. A cyclone can leave one area and go to another area. Perturbation, same thing. So we need to ensure that we are collaborating, we are exchanging information. So I think there is no problem. We are working for many years. There is no problem, I think. What we need now to do is to more collaborate with each other. If you see very carefully, at AGMAD, we submit a proposal where all the RCCs are members. It's not the submission that's important for me as such to get the money, but to get to work together, to speak together. Another things that I've done since I arrived, I ensure that I visit all the RCCs. I start, of course, with agreement because we're not sure closure. And then I come to ICPAC. It was really great discussing with ICPAC, knowing what they do, and also signing an MOU with ICPAC to ensure that at least we have an agreement. We know who does well, and also we can also collaborate. I think we will do the same thing for all the RCCs, having an MOU. And the MOU will define exactly what we are talking about, who's doing what, and can collaborate. Looking forward now, I think we should right now ensuring any proposal we are working, we can do it together. Everybody can do part of it, and we want to ensure that everything is done, everybody not behind. Now the seamless in space, I think AGMAD should play that role. We are doing it under AMEWAS. We are ensuring that all those products developed by the region, if a region can do it, we are not doing it. We are just compiling. If a region cannot do it, also we try to do it. So that's how I see it. And looking forward, we're going to cooperate more. And we, AGMAD, are submitting a proposal, I think it's the last stage, where we think we should meet more often. And as a WISER coordinator, under WISER also, we look forward to do more workshop and to discuss what we can do together. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Director, for giving us the highlight what ACMAT is doing to bring together different RCCs and sharing tools and knowledge. And we really appreciate the initiative, developing proposals so that, allow that RCCs to work together. I just want to inform you, Director, it supports coordination mechanism among RCCs. Thank you so much, Director. So let me now move to Dr. Hussein, the program manager for IGAD Climate Diagnostic and Prediction, ICPAC. Dr. Hussein, ICPAC is the first RCC to develop and operationalize objective seasonal forecasting methodology. What opportunities exist to share those tools and experience across RCCs in Africa? Furthermore, how can we leverage emerging technologies like AI and machine learning approach to further enhance the accuracy of our early warning system? Dr. Hussein.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abubakar. Maybe before I respond to your question on what opportunities exist to share the tools that ICPAC developed with other regional climate centers, probably it is good really to highlight the advantages of this objective forecasting, why we move from this consensus-based forecasting approach to an objective-based forecasting approach. So as you know, WMO recommended the regional climate centers and also national met services to move from this consensus-based forecasting approach to an objective forecasting approach. So what are the advantages? One of the advantages of this objective forecasting technique is to come up with a forecast that is verifiable, traceable, and reproducible. So what does it mean? So if you look at, for example, the consensus forecast, it is available only in form of map. So you cannot use this forecast in application models. You cannot statistically verify this because it's not available in form of data. And also, if you want to trace back and see maybe the types of methods and also tools that you use to produce this data, it is very hard to really get those information. So one of the advantages of this objective forecasting technique is the transparency and the reproducibility. So when you use objective forecasting approach, you know the type of models that you used, you know the types of method, the calibration method that you used. So anyone who use the same type of data and downscaling approach, he should come up with the same forecast. So that is one of the advantages. The second one is the verifiable. Verifiable means all these forecast products are available in digital form, so you can statistically verify these forecasts and get the accuracy of the forecast. Then these forecasts are also available in digital form, so you can easily use them in application models. So if you want to use them in crop model, in hydrologic model, you can easily use this forecast easily use products. Approach, you use different downscaling techniques. Then later on, the experts come up and now agree on the outlook. But for the objective, once you have the tools in place, you can easily, quickly, and regularly able to produce the forecast products without that gathering and discussion. So those are really the main advantages of this objective forecasting technique. So ICPAC moved from this consensus to an objective forecasting approach in May 2019, and since then we were able to produce the forecasts in objective approach. So we use different downscaling techniques to produce the forecast, and we document the type of models and also calibration methods that we used in every seasonal climate outlook. So what opportunities exist to share these tools with other regional climate center? I think there are a number of opportunities. At ICPAC, For example, we have the yearly foundational seasonal climate prediction workshop, where we bring forecasters from the National Met Service in the region and take them through the tools, the data sets, and also the methods that we use. So that is one of the opportunity. And the other is now the GAC of climate prediction workshops, which we held 3 times a year for 3 main rainfall season. And again, in this one also, we bring the forecasters who participated in the foundational training workshop then to participate in the upcoming 3 main rainfall season. And again, in this one also, we bring the forecasters who participated in the foundational training workshop then to participate in the upcoming to strengthen our collaboration and also really and also maybe create opportunities to share on the types of tools that we are using among the different climate center. Since IGAD has that continental mandate, they can play a significant role in bringing the different RSCs together. From ICPAC side, we are very open and happy to collaborate with other regional climate centers. And the other thing that I would like to highlight is and also on the type of tools. So the tools that we are using, they are open source. So there is no issue of really keeping these tools and methods only for the ICPAC region. We are open to share with the other also regional climate centers. Yeah, coming back to your question on the AI, and of course AI is one of the emerging issues. So at ICPAC, we are currently implementing this an AI model in collaboration with the National Met Services in the region and also University of Oxford on weather timescale. So there are some promising results on that, but we have to explore this one now on subseasonal and also seasonal timescale. AI is of course a wonderful tool, but you know AI depends on the type of data that we are using. So it depends on the data. If we don't have a good quality data, even the AI model is not really to help us with accurate forecast. So I think that is the main issue, and CMWF announced that their AI models are able to outperform the physics-based models, trained the model on the output of the dynamical models or in the output of physics-based models. So we are not still far from using these physics-based models, and currently that is a situation. Thank you, Dr. Titke.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hussein, to give us an overview of, ICPAC objective forecast. The forecast has to be traceable, reproducible, and verifiable according to WMO standards. Yeah, we really appreciate that ICPAC openness to share tools, knowledge, and experience, even further training, other RCCs or NMHS through our training programs, including foundational and pre-COFs. And we really appreciate you highlighting the work that we are doing in terms of using AI to improve our forecasts and for future development. But what's important is experience sharing, cooperation, and service harmonization and support resilience. Thank you so much. So now allow me to move to Dr. Marcon. And I have a question, Marcon. What are the minimum service standards for impact-based multi-hazard early warning system under Sendai framework? And how does Africa compare today?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will not actually go more in the minimum standards from Sendai. And Sendai is not really setting up a standard in that. So we have the standard from the World Meteorological Organizations. Definitely at the UNDRR, we are supporting that system that we call disaster tracking system, which is that one is a standard de facto that actually was developed together with the WMO and also UNDP as a system to track the impact of disasters from direct impact, so impact to household, livelihood, people, also to economic impact. And this one, for us, is it should be the backbone of an impact-based forecast system. So we know that there are some impact-based forecasting system, and I will mention a bit some of them. The understanding what are been the impact in the past is, of course, something very important, and we try to simulate what was the past to predict the future. So the disaster tracking system is a system is open source, is available to any countries. We're also looking forward to work with the regional climate center to host the system if the country is also allowed. For us, it's very important that those data are coming from national institutions. There are many disaster loss database around, but the disaster tracking system has the very specificity that the data on the losses of disaster need to come from the government. And that's for us is one of concrete tools that we have developed with methodology, with training, and so on. We're happy to work on that. You mentioned on impact-based forecast. I just want to highlight a few of the things that we are doing. We are working hand-to-hand with IGPAC on an impact-based flood forecasting system, where as a UNDRR, we are working more on the risk modeling approach. We have different methodology for the impact-based forecast, that we can just forecast what is, we call this the hazard, the amount of waters that is coming. This one is the work of a hydrologist. But what is very important, that we combine the hazard with information that's what is going to be affected and what is the vulnerability of what is going to be affected. Technically speaking, exposure and vulnerability data. And that's where our expertise as risk modelers come in. With IGPAC and United Nations University and Chima Future, and it combines information from the hazard with exposure and vulnerability data, especially for Kenya and Ethiopia, that are the two pilot countries. Forecasting for short terms, not only, as I said, the amount of water, but more importantly, what are the impacts in terms of crop production, in terms of people affected, in terms of vulnerability of infrastructure, and so on. And this data can inform the early warning system. In terms of technology, yes, also for all the AI community in that. So Google is promoting a flood forecasting system at a global, that when we talk of early warning, we need to have the public services on charge. They have the responsibility to inform and alert the population. So how we can use also information that are coming for such a big tech is something that I think we need to reflect. Other two things I think are critical with some of journalists, trying to really cascade those information are coming for the seasonal forecast to more the decision maker and the different community. And the risk with some of journalists, more the decision maker and the different community. As people interpret the messages, it's completely different. So we can partner with media, with journalists on that regards. But even before going that, what I think is important is also the co-production process. So the co-production is not a process that everybody has the same responsibility. We all know. As we all know, the meteorological services has the responsibility and a mandate of meteorological forecast. We all know that hydrological services has the responsibility for hydrological forecast. But when we say co-production also with disaster management authority means really to have those community to speak the same language, to transform scientific and technical information in something that should be actionable. the co-production is the easiest way to do that. Is to have people on the same room, on the same seat, to speak the same language. So, and to transform those technical information into information that goes also to the different audience. I think I will stop here, and I don't know if I answered to your question when we talk about impact-based forecast. So it's not only a matter of technology, it's not only a matter of capacity, it's not only a matter of a mandate, it's all together. It's all these things together. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Marcon, for giving us, the work that is undertaken by UNDRR and the focus on impact-based forecasting and the tools that you have developed, disaster tracking system. When it comes to impact-based forecasting, information in the past is very key in vulnerability and exposure. But I think this system will be really crucial for improving our impact-based forecasting. As you also highlighted the importance of communication and co-production, which is really a key, co-producing with experts, disaster experts, and then further transform that into the users is very, very important. We really appreciate Dr. Marcon. So that is the first round of question. We are going back to a second round question, and I will go back to WMO, Dr. Abubakar. So the second question, Dr. Abubakar, that I'm going to pose on you is, currently with NORCAP, WMO is developing a clean web system. Also, there is also another tool called CAP, and supporting, NMHS to disseminate their information and also kind of share whatever that they are producing to their people. So how can those systems be linked with other platforms? As you have heard of Dr. Nadir and Dr. Hussein, also Dr. Marcon. We all have our system. So how can we link those systems to other platform, existing platform, and scale that across Africa, and of course contribute to early warning for all initiative? Thank you, Dr. Abubakar. Over to you.
Yeah. Yes, thank you very much for the question. Yeah, just to complete my answer in the previous question before I come to this one, that on the data, there is, of course, availability of the data. Some incitement came to my mind when Dr. Hussein was talking, which is adding more data will of course will help with the verification of the models, whether they are the numerical prediction models or the climate models or even new emerging AI models. And then SOF also, and for those who are not getting the term SOF, we're talking about the systematic financing observation facility. It's like a funding mechanism for meteorological infrastructure. So it helps also with the data quality, because data that is not well verified and not instruments that are not calibrated are not yielding. They are not. This is not the type of the data that would help and improve the forecast. So those are other elements that can help. Also improving gridded data, gridded climate data. So all those are package related to the data. So and now we are working also on another network that to improve, particularly for warnings, to support early warning system, which is we call regional basic observing network. This is a network directly dedicated for priority hazard based on the area of the interest. So it will complement what is GBON, the Global Basic Observing Network, is providing. So to close the gap in the issues related to data. So now I'll go to your question around the tools that we developed and we offer to the national hydrometeorological sector in Africa. This is an initiative with NORCAP as a partner on it. And the idea is that we develop open source solutions to accelerate the implementation of early warning for all. And overall, it's an effort well aligned with the UN initiative on global digital alliance, which aim into promoting open source solutions to accelerate, which aim into promoting open source solutions to accelerate the implementation of the UN. And CleanWeb itself, it contains map viewer system for data visualization and CAP composer. So the map viewer is to enable the National Hydromet to visualize weather and climate data together with socioeconomic data. So, for example, weather forecast, gridded data from blending data observations together with satellite data, and any other georeference data. For example, population, location of key infrastructure, vulnerability measures or indicators, food security, status of food security. So all type of gridded data the system can ingest and visualize. And the idea is that, as we say, that we would like to move from what the weather might be to what the weather will do to the socioeconomic infrastructure beneath it, or what we call to support national mesh services in provision of impact-based services and more detailed information that could help actions or more actionable information. So this is the component related to the data visualization. Add to it now, we have the CAP composer, and the CAP refers to Common Alerting Protocol. This is a standard format that should be used for issuing warnings. We know that all the hydrometeorological services in all countries are alerting authorities. They are mandated by the law to issue warnings and to warn the population tools. And then there was also tools. And then there was also, and we integrated the CAP composer within the package of CleanWeb itself. And now this system is like more comprehensive. You will have the data visualized and you will look into the situation. And from it, when you come to a conclusion of warnings, then within the system itself, you will be able to create the warning. And then it has to be approved by higher or middle management. And then it gets disseminated. And the system is also integrated, enabling dissemination on the website, and then from the website to the social media channels, and also using URLs or CAP feed URL, it enables global dissemination. Now we are working with Google closely that the CAP public on Google search engine, on other Google platform, for example, Android, all those Android mobiles. So this is a tool. Beside them, we have another tool that facilitates data transmission. We call it automated data loader. So it's a full support along the whole value chain, from the data collection, data sharing internationally, and then access to the forecast using APIs, and then the dissemination of service. You cannot do anything alone. And as we say, if you want to go far and reach really a more advanced level in the system itself and more comprehensive, you need to go with others. You need to go together. This is where we can work with the RCCs and the other UN partners in increasing the utilization of those tools. They are good, they are fancy, they are advanced, but if they are not utilized to their maximum capacity, they are just as if it's obsolete. They have never been done. So that is where we can come and work together. For example, the system need to be fed with data. And some of this data lies with RCCs, with ICPAC, with ACMAD, with others. So how we can ingest this data on the system. Some data actually comes from support through UNDRR. So risk knowledge, vulnerability elements, and all those elements in the data, they can also be visualized through working together with UNDRR. So I think this
Thank you so much, Dr. Abubakar, giving us, a highlight what the WMO is doing in terms of, supporting national base services in developing, their systems where they can, share the information, the weather and climate information that they're generating, also impact-based forecasting to the public, and its advancement in working with Google for public alert system, and the opportunities for collaboration both in RCC and also UN systems or UN agencies like UNDRR, of course, with working with IGAD. I think there's a potential that we can collaborate and benefit, the vulnerable people in Africa. Thank you so much. Now let me move to Dr. Nadia for a second question, which is something related to what Dr. Abubakar was highlighting. So, Dr. Usman, what is the viable, possibilities, for ACMAD?
In term of we'll do it and we compile. That's what we do with ICPAC. ICPAC is doing it well. We just compile. We want to compile for all the region. But what we want definitely is to have also the population. Those are impacted in mind. So that's why we are putting more and more humanitarian organization. We have a good collaboration with products, and I can tell you, with discussion with OSHA, we was doing it in West and Central Africa. Now we are thinking of moving in the whole Africa. Of course, when it comes to East Africa, we'll have ICPAC on board and working on that. So we really want to do it, nobody left behind, ensuring everything is done and use the capacity of everybody. Capacity of everybody means also the countries. We know, and that's a fact, some countries sometimes are very developed, very advanced in, for example, their forecast, their downscaling, or they have more data than the RCCs. How can they contribute also is important for us. So all those barriers related to country, related to regional centers, we will not remove it, but we want to make it working together at one platform. Of course, we want to develop that's a feature, few online platform in ACMAD. One, of course, is a database that we are really advanced in discussion. We think that Africa, it's time to have one database, one place, so anybody can use it. It's open to everybody. As you know, data library of IRI right now. We want to have one like that in Africa, and using will make things much more easier. But what we want to also see in ACMAD is if you look at, for example, LinkedIn, or you go to social media, you can see some private Africans, some people with African resources can contribute. So we want to get that platform going on, having a cloud base, so that everybody can, it's open, can contribute and can do it. So what we want at the end is also ensuring that the collaboration outside Africa is important. We know that in meteorology, we use a lot of global model to run our model. So we have that collaboration coming in. So why can't we use also something developed by India, something developed by Brazil, that we know we went through the same hazards, and to benefit Africa on it. So we have also opened that door at ACMAD, and November, we will have a meeting with IMD with WMO, and look at how can we benefit from the potential that India has developed already and it exists. So we don't want to limit ourselves just what we know. We want to open. We know that we will act locally, as I was saying this morning, but we want to get the best information, the best technology, the state of art for Africa. So we are really open for that at ACMAD. We want to have that ideas. Of course, we will do it with RCCs. All the RCCs will do it together, ensuring that we have that technology. So it needs training. So that's why in ACMAD, we are pushing more on the on-job training. We have this training that was existing in ACMAD for a long time, where people come, ACMAD stay 2-4 months. We are thinking of how can we make it more collaborative. If, for example, we get demand for other countries that can do it ICPAC, why not? But how can we get the same curriculum? Can they have the same level of information? So we have a long discussion last week with IK Met Office to see how can we develop those kind of curriculum online. So what I meant is, frontier exists as realities. Countries exist have their own realities. But we want to ensure that the information exists free to people to grab it or not to grab it. But we want to give the best for everywhere in the world, ensuring that Africa is not on the rest, we can develop. All those things that I was saying about Abubakar and others are initiatives that exist, but how can we open it for other people to contribute? So really that's our vision in ACMAD, ensuring that RCCs are doing their job and everything is available for everybody, but ensuring also at the global level we can grab anything we can find. For the impact-based focus that was raised, for example, I was really nice to hear what they think about impact-based focus. You know that this project that we are implementing together, SIWA, we want to do impact-based focus based on what? The experience that ECMWF has and other big centers has. So ideally, that's the idea, really. We need to ensure that the problems are driven by local. UNDR will tell us, what are the reality, what need to be done. But to tackle that problem, we are really open to any innovation that can solve it, and AGMAD want to play the role with the RCCs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nadia. For sure, no one is left behind in terms of information and the possibilities that ACMAD can host, a platform that serves the whole Africa, and the possibility of collaboration, of course, not only in Africa, not only in RCC, of course, global players. You mentioned working with IMD is very, very key, and we are looking forward to benefit, and of course, we'll closely working with you. Thank you so much, Dr. Nadi. So let me move to Dr. Hussein again. Dr. Hussein, ICPAC, I think in this forum, I think it was yesterday, endorsed regional framework climate services by the ministers across Greater Horn of Africa. The kind of a collaboration project between IGAD and East Africa Community, a mechanism for coordination.
Thank you, Dr. Tetke. So ICPAC has developed this regional framework for climate services, and as you mentioned, this framework was endorsed by the ministers of EAC and IGAD member states yesterday. And this is really a big achievement as it provides like a formal regionally owned mechanism for coordinated climate services. So it was really a big achievement. It brought together the 7 ministers, both from IGAD and EAC member states, and as well as the IGAD Secretariat and also the EAC Secretariat. So what is the purpose really is really to align the efforts. As I mentioned, like it brought even the 2 regional economic blocks together. In the past, the EAC was working alone, IGAD was working alone, but we are serving the same region. And this framework at least brought together the 2 regional economic secretaries or blocks yesterday. And as we have heard from the remarks of the Secretary General, that is a way forward really to address the issue of this climate change. So that is one of the advantages. The second is really to promote the co-production and also the collaboration. This is also very key. And the regional framework also, it will be like a political or a technical instrument to mobilize resources. So these are the main advantages of the framework. And we have gone through different processes really to reach at this stage. First, we had this a number of stakeholder engagement with both national and regional institutions to identify the existing services, to identify the gaps and also priorities that we need to address together. Then, so what was really the key issues that were identified was like there were a lot of duplication of efforts in the region in the area of this climate services. So this framework will able to address that one, and the other issue was again uncoordinated actions. There are different organizations again trying to address some of these climate change issues. They are not well coordinated. So if we bring these resources and the efforts together, we can maximize really the impact and we can address the issues together. So the framework, it identified priority. So the framework, it identified years from 2026 to 2030. So it identified 7 priority objectives starting from actualizing this framework. So it has its own governance structure, At higher level, the inter-rec committee on policy. This includes ministers for the meteorological, responsible for meteorological services, the IGAD secretariat, the EAC, and at lower level we have the technical steering committee, includes the directors of the MET, of course the ACMAD, and also WMO regional office. So it has its own structure, implementation mechanisms, the global framework for climate services, including the issue of this user interface platform, climate information system, and also the observation gaps that was mentioned earlier, and the capacity development, and all. Then how it really contribute to the implementation of the early warning for all initiative. So if you look at again the key pillars of the early warning for all initiatives, so there's one on disaster risk knowledge, and the second is on observation, monitoring, and forecasting. You have the communication, dissemination, and last on the preparedness and the action. So if you look at all those, the 7 strategic objectives that has identified, they are very much aligned with those one. So there is a component addressing the observation network, supporting the national Met services, really to increase the number of stations. There is a component dealing on the development and also implementation of the national framework for climate services. There is a component focusing on enhancing the use of this climate, the number of stations. There is a component dealing on the development and also implementation of the national framework for climate services. There is a component focusing on enhancing the use of this climate information. There is a component. So the framework was endorsed and launched yesterday. Well, the initial plan was to endorse it in this second Africa Climate Summit and to launch it in COP30, but the framework was endorsed and also launched yesterday. So the framework was signed by the 2 executive secretaries, the IGAD executive secretary and also the general secretary of the East Africa Community. And the communique was signed by the IGAD and EAC member states, the ministers responsible for meteorological service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hussein, for additional information. I think it's a big achievement. I think we need to congratulations. There has been many people who have been working behind, including my colleague Kalistas is here. Congratulations for that. So let me, because of the time, let me